Hi, it's good to see you today. Have you ever wondered where God is or what He looks like? We say and we know that God is everywhere, but that's kind of hard to understand. All summer, our elementary kids were learning about faith and that it's trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. Now, I just got a brand new book, and it's about a little boy who wonders if God is in his city. And his grandma gives him some wise advice about where to look for God. So let's see what his grandma has to say in the story. Maybe God is like that too. Let's read together.
Maybe God is like that too, written by Jennifer Grant, illustrated by Benjamin Shipper. I live in the city, where the sidewalks and subway cars and buildings and buses are packed with people. But I've never seen God before. Grandma, does God live in the city? I asked one morning at breakfast. Yes, God is here, she says. You just need to know where to look. Whenever you see love, joy, and peace, God is there, she says, stirring her tea. Wherever there's patience, kindness, and goodness, God is there too. When you see faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, that's God's Spirit at work. On the way to school, I'm on the lookout. I see a bus full of tourists and count 10 bright yellow taxis. I spy a man sweeping a stoop, and Grandma and I laugh when we see a tiny dog wearing a fluffy purple sweater. At school, Grandma hands me my lunch and hugs me close before she says goodbye. That's what love looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. On the swings, I pump so hard I see over the wall into the alley. My friends shout, "Higher, higher," as my feet fly way up into the sky. That's what joy looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. Outside, the horn blasts and sirens scream, but my classroom is quiet and calm. That's what peace looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. I try to tie my shoes, but the laces tangle around my fingers. My teacher sits down beside me and shows me how to tie them. That's what patience looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. On the way home, I see a doorman wearing a red cape and a hat with a shiny brim. He's holding the door for a man using a wheelchair. The man moves very slowly, and the doorman chats with him and smiles. That's what kindness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. While I'm setting the table for dinner, there's a knock at the door. It's our neighbor from downstairs bringing us a loaf of bread. It's golden brown and warm and wrapped in a thin white towel. That's what goodness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. After dinner, I work on my homework, while Grandma stands at the kitchen sink washing dishes and humming to herself, just like she does every single night. That's what faithfulness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. At bedtime, Grandma sits at the edge of my bed, singing me a lullaby and stroking my head. She tucks my blankets up close around me. That's what gentleness looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. I lie in bed, watching the curtains flutter. I want to talk about that dog we saw today and how high I can swing, but Grandma says that once I'm tucked in, I have to stay in bed until morning. I close my eyes and try to fall asleep. That's what self-control looks like to me. Maybe God is like that too. I saw God over and over again today, whenever I saw love, joy, and peace, and wherever there was patience, kindness, and goodness. When I saw faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, I saw God's Spirit at work. I don't see God the way I see my friends, or the streetlights, or the river, but I see signs of God's Spirit all around me, right here in the city. I know what God is like. Maybe I can be like that too. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Galatians 5:22 and 23a.
Wow, at the end of the day, the boy saw God over and over in many different ways. You know, we can't see God like you can see me right now, but we can definitely see who God is through others. And when we love Jesus, he sends us the Holy Spirit to be with us always. Now, I don't know about you, but I have an easier time visualizing God the Father and Jesus, his Son, but the Holy Spirit's a little bit harder for me to wrap my head around. It's easier for me to think of the Holy Spirit when I think about water. So I just have a cup of water here. I just poured it out of the faucet. And what happens to water when it gets super, super cold? It turns to ice. It's hard. I can pick it up and it's solid, right? Now, in just a moment, I'm going to show you another phase of water. We've got water as a liquid, water as a solid, but I want to show you water as a gas, as steam. And that's how I visualize who God the Holy Spirit is. So let's take a look at my little experiment.
If you look closely, you can see that the hot water and ice together create steam. And that's kind of how I imagine the Holy Spirit. Not something I can touch or really see, but it's definitely all around. So just like water can be a liquid, solid, and gas, God is similar that he is one as God the Father, Jesus the Son, and Holy Spirit.
You know, the book ends with this verse from Galatians 5:22 and the first part of verse 23. It says, "The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control." All of these things give us glimpses of God's character and who he is. And when we love Jesus, the Holy Spirit guides us and helps us show others what love, joy, peace, patience, and all of those other good things about God looks like. Now, I can believe and trust in God because of all the signs of him around me. So, this week, I want to challenge you. I want you to look around for signs of God's Spirit all around you. And I want you to think about how you can show others who God is through your actions and your words. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our story times or weekend programming or lessons. We love you and we miss you.